It was another weekend of violence in New York City. Police were called to more than a dozen shootings.
3 teenagers were killed in separate shootings. One victim just 13 years old.
Police say this shooting was gang-related.
Violence just needs to stop. Get the guns off the streets.
We just got to get together, make the neighborhoods better.
This was one of 4 deadly shootings in the city on Sunday.
The Bronx has a serious problem on their hands. Similar to Chicago, young angry teenagers are walking around the streets toting guns and hunting each other down. New York has some of the strictest gun laws in America, but this still doesn't stop anyone from getting their hands on firearms, even kids not even old enough to drive yet. In New York, juvenile suspects are sent to family court instead of being prosecuted as adults, so these teenagers are able to commit violent crime after violent crime and then be let back out on the street with little to no punishment. With laws like that in place, the subject of today's video became possible. In today's video, we'll tell the story of a crazy 5-day span in the Bronx, New York that saw young teenagers from rival gangs gun each other down back to back to back. But before we get into the video, please be sure to like and subscribe. If you know anything about the Bronx, then you know that it's a war zone. The JayRipk scene in the Bronx has blown up in the past couple years, and it shined a light on all of the different gangs beefing with each other and all of the violence and mayhem this beef has caused. Some of the main gangs making noise in the Bronx in the drill scene are the OGs, YGs, DOA, and the OY. The OYs are actually from Harlem, but they primarily beef with sets in the Bronx. The story of this video centers around the beef between DOA and the YGs. DOA, made famous by the rappers such as K-Flock and Dougie B, consists of people from multiple hoods such as Rayway and Sevside. Another hood that shares a lot of the same enemies as DOA is Third Side. There are multiple YG factions in the Bronx. There are the YGs from RPT, such as the rappers D-Thank and Bando. There's the YGs from Mott Haven, such as the rapper Use G's. And there's the YGs from 800, also known as 80, such as the rappers Nesty and Assassin. In a crazy week in the Bronx, the bloodshed would get out of control and multiple sides would take losses.
New this morning, a deadly shooting in the Belmont section of the Bronx. Police say a 19-year-old man was shot in the head on Prospect Avenue near 181st Street around 11:30 last night. He was pronounced dead at St. Barnabas Hospital. The victim's name has not been released, and there are no arrests in the case.
The crazy week in the Bronx all started with the death of a rapper by the name of Ty Swish. On July 8, 2021, Ty Swish, real name Tyquil Daughtery, was killed inside his building on Prospect Avenue in the Bronx at just the age of 19 years old. He had been shot in the eye and then ran outside the building where he collapsed. A family friend found him unconscious, sprawled out on the ground outside the building. He was rushed to the hospital where he was later pronounced dead. The gunman fled in a dark-colored 4-door sedan. Ty Swish wasn't directly involved in the Bronx beef. He was a member of a gang called Sex Money Murder, but he was cool with some members of the 800 YGs. The police believed that a Rayway member by the name of JayRipk was one of the people involved in Ty Swish's death.
New at 5, we're hearing from the families of 2 teens shot and killed in the Bronx. This is surveillance video of one of those victims, just 13 years stumbling into a restaurant after police say he was shot. We're freezing part of the video here because it's just too difficult to watch.
Just 3 days after the death of Ty Swish, members of the 800 YGs would seek out revenge for him. On July 11, 2021, JayRipk, real name Jarian Elliott, and a friend were walking on the street when a male gunman got out of the back seat of a black sedan outside and opened fire at the two of them. JayRipk's friend would get away, but JayRipk was shot in the chest and ankle and ran into a cafe. He would collapse and be taken to the hospital, where he would tragically be pronounced dead at just 13 years old. The entire incident was captured on surveillance footage. Although he was just 13 years old, JayRipk already had been arrested 8 different times, including for robbery and assault, and had been locked up twice that year before being dumped back on the street. 2 members of the 800 YGs would eventually be caught and charged with his murder. An 800 member by the name Squeeze, real name Jaleel Khalif, is believed to be the gunman, and another 800 member by the name of Taco Guns, real name Justin Baez, is believed to have been his accomplice. The police also believe another member of 800 by the name of Rah Gzz was there as well. Not even 24 hours after JayRipk's death, the bloodshed would continue.
Around 11:30 Sunday night by the corner of East 178th Street and Webster Avenue in the Bronx, police say 2 men pulled scooters up next to a cab Medrano was taking to a recording studio. They then shot him in his head and chest, killing him.
Following the death of JayRipk, his associates would seek out to avenge him instantly. Just 8.5 hours after the death of JayRipk, a known 800 YGs member by the name of Rah Gzz, real name Ramon Gil Medrano, entered an Uber and was waiting for it to take off. Rah Gzz had mocked JayRipk's death on social media and had been believed to have been present for JayRipk's murder. While he was sitting in the Uber, 2 gunmen on scooters would ride by and open fire on him. He was shot in the head and chest and died instantly. In fact, the whole incident was caught on video. The crazy thing about it is that Rah shouldn't have even been free at the time. He was wanted for an armed carjacking at the time of his death, and it was one of 3 open gun cases he had against him in family court, all stemming from incidents in the previous 7 months to his death. According to the police report, 2 16-year-olds were charged with Rah's death. One of them goes by the name of No Love Munna, and he is allegedly JayRipk's cousin. Surprisingly, No Love was released from jail, but since he's a juvenile, there's no way of checking his paperwork to see why. The very next day after the death of Rah Gzz, the 800 YGs would be out looking to avenge him. As I mentioned earlier, one of the people charged for JayRipk's death is an 800 YG member by the name of Taco Guns. Taco and Rah were very close friends, so losing Rah would hit Taco hard and make him eager for revenge. On July 12, 2021, a famous rapper and member of DOA by the name of Dougie was walking with another person on East 184th Street and Washington Avenue when Taco Guns and other unidentified individuals spotted them and opened fire on them. Dougie and his associate survived this incident but suffered injuries. Dougie got shot in the leg but was able to make a full recovery. As a result of this incident, various Bronx drill rappers have dissed Dougie in their songs, mocking him for getting shot in the leg.
Dougie got shot, he's still in recovery.
Dougie this on the desert got hit. My leg.
Taco Guns is currently in jail facing second-degree murder and manslaughter charges in the death of JayRipk. He's also facing attempted murder charges in the shooting that injured Dougie B. Surprisingly, Squeeze has been released from jail even though he was also charged with JayRipk's death. It's sad to see senseless violence take over the minds and lives of people at such a young age. Let me know what you guys think about this situation in the comment section, and please be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.